Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We've got a big show lined up, a good 30 minutes to spend with some good quality, positive outdoor news. So today is going to be 85. Low is going to be 68. But the water temperature jumped up 2 degrees yesterday, 82 degrees. And remember this now, living on the coast, a lot of y'all know this. One thing is that water temperature warms up, but two significant factors happen. One thing, you start getting the June, what they call the June grass, and I've already gotten reports from some grass coming in. It's not a lot, but some of it's coming in. And the second thing, that warm water also brings in those jellyfish. So keep that in mind too. I haven't had any bad reports about them, but they will be coming in. Most, 90-something% of those jellyfish are completely harmless, but one or two of them that sting you, it hurts. In fact, we heard of one recently. River readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. Let's take a look at Apalachicola, Bluntstown, 8.7 and pretty steady. Some good fishing going on down there. I've seen some good pictures. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, an even 5 foot. Both rivers are in good shape for the midweek. Of course, the Choctawhatchee really dropped down from all the rain it had. So over the weekend it's pretty high, but it's gotten on down pretty good now. So the next couple of days is going to be good fishing on the Choctawhatchee. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn right here on 23rd Street. Good folks down there. High tide is at 7:45 and low at 8:55. Not much of a tide today. Starts increasing tomorrow. And look at the weekend. Man, with some strong tides this weekend. And speaking of the weekend, we're looking at the summer solstice. We always like to talk about the longest day of the year, and it's going to be this coming Saturday. It's going to be it'll be June the 20th, and we talk about it each year about the longest day of the year around December the 22nd, and the shortest day, December 22nd. Longest day will be around June the 20th now. So it'll be this Saturday. So starting next week, the days will be getting shorter. I don't know about you, but I really notice you really notice long days when it comes daylight in the morning if you're up. It's sort of being daylight, way before, right around 5 o'clock, way before the show comes on. It's been a little bit of daylight out there. It's been really nice. So enjoy this long days of this week. Marine forecast will be coming out of east at 5 to 10. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I wanted to get this on last week, ran out of time. We're going to talk about this story right here. This is the Calhoun Liberty Journal. I get it once a week. What a great newspaper, weekly newspaper. And Teresa Eubanks wrote this story. A lot of y'all heard about it, a lot of y'all didn't. And it's pistol packing preacher thwarts robbery attempt in church pulpit. Okay, so now I want to read about one paragraph out of it. This was up in Clarksville at Poplar Head Baptist Church. The Sunday when the tropical storm was in the area. The preacher he gets there early, and I'm just going to go ahead and read. I'm going to read about 2 paragraphs. I'm going to use my reading glasses. The first time I've ever used my reading glasses, I think, on the show, but I do use them all the time when I read, which I read a lot. Okay, the pastor Troy Marks. A stranger walked in. He got there early. Got there about 8 o'clock. Okay, the stranger walked in. And he was in there by himself. And the stranger walked in. The pastor, he said, the stranger asked for money, and there was a man pointing a gun at him. The two were facing each other when a draft caused the thunderous slam of a door to break through the sound of the rain. So a door slammed in the rain. The startled intruder looked toward the direction of the noise. When he turned back, the pastor had pulled out his own semi-automatic pistol and was aiming at him. The man fled, racing out of the church. I watched him run down the hall, and that was the last I saw him. We don't want to say he wasn't there like 20 seconds and all. So that was an amazing. It didn't make a lot of big news and all, but that's an amazing story of why you have a concealed weapon. Here's a preacher in the church, and a guy walks in and tries to rob him. But on the story, one of the things that maybe struck out in my mind more than anything, other than what a well-prepared preacher that was, and thankfully there are no gunshots or anything, but in the lower right-hand corner, I'm going to zoom this up, lower right-hand corner, afterwards they had a service later on that afternoon at 4 o'clock, but see where I circle that? Afterwards, church members gathered and prayed for the man who had attempted to rob their pastor at gunpoint. Okay, folks, don't we need more of that in America? This kind of where you defend yourself legitimately, and the American way. You have to defend yourself, and yet you still forgive the person, and then you pray to help him. And my hat's off, my heart's open to those guys and ladies up there at that Baptist church for doing those kind of things, and a great job in pastor. It made me think about, when you learn to use a gun. Most of us in my generation grew up just growing up, and with BB guns and things like that, shooting at tin cans. Well, what's wrong with that? Why can't we still do that? Why can't we teach kids? In fact, why can't we get a kid a BB gun? This is all up to parents, whatever age you want to do it. Different. I hate to come out with say 12 years old or 10 years old, whatever. It's up to the parent to determine if the kid's mature enough to handle something. But a BB gun is something great to learn on. I'm serious. It's not. You're not going to do it kind of. What you can learn on is gun safety. You can learn gun safety, and you can have a lot of fun. Number one thing, you always supervise, which you want to supervise kids anyway. So you want to supervise them, and just put some tin cans in the backyard. Make sure they're not a backdrop, and don't put them too far away. Put them up there and let them pop a tin can and a little drink can or something. Well, I guess aluminum cans now. We used to be tin cans, so I'm dating myself. So and sometimes put them in a pyramid, and make sure you got a great backdrop. And teach them, first thing, always keep that gun pointed down. I can still hear my dad saying that all my life. He'll keep that gun barrel pointed down. I'm so thankful he taught me, my brother, and all those things. And he, he went, like a lot of that generation, went through World War II and saw what guns could do. And then always on that safety. Those BB guns now come with safeties. So in fact, I have one. I shoot it every now and then. A lot of you pump them up now, it'd be pretty strong. But just those little single level ones. I just wanted to encourage you to let kids learn how to shoot. It's a fun sport. I know I'm probably be some liberals maybe watching and be critical of what I'm saying, but I really believe that here in America we need to learn how to shoot a gun and shoot it safely and use it for fun and for protection. That's the way I feel, and I just think it's something that we need to do. And so BB gun is a great way to start, and then work your way up, but make sure you supervise them and teach them those safety factors at a young age, and it will stick with them. It stuck with me my whole life. Keep that gun barrel pointed down the whole time, unless you're ready to shoot that squirrel. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Often we'll go outdoors with someone and say, we can't wait till the next time to do this, and man, or start making plans for the next fishing trip with them or next hunting trip with them, and always thinking you're going to be able to do that. Well, it don't always work out that way, and I was reminded of this just a couple days ago. I got one of my memories from Facebook. It was from my last trip with my memories on Facebook. An awesome triple tail fishing trip with my longtime buddy Chris Gurris. Remember last year we went over there at Apalachicola. On the left right there, we under the bridge, and I had a fellow take our picture. We caught 22 and all that, and it was just a wonderful trip. But what I was going to say, Chris and I talked about, we can't, when we go, that day, he said, Winston said, next trip, he said, I can't wait the next trip for you to come go with me. And I said, okay, first of all, we'd already started planning for coming in June of 2020, and I was going to bring some kids. In fact, I was going to bring my grandson and all, but as you know, my buddy Chris Gurris passed away about 2 months ago. So we never did get to finish up on our plans and all. If I'd have known he was going to pass away, I would have gone with him the next week. I would have got my grandson Mason a ticket from Nashville and flew him down here just to go fishing with Chris. If I would have known. And a lot of times we get in those situations. So don't put it off, folks. Go ahead and do it and enjoy it, and make sure you make those memories, but don't put it off. So anyway, that was a year ago, a couple days ago, a year ago. Let's move on with the pictures now. Red snapper, like I say, red snapper was a big deal this past week and all. This is a Blake Hatcher. He's one of my former students. He's over in he's fishing out in the bar. He's kayak fishing for red snapper. I'm so proud of Blake. I got a picture coming later on I'm going to show you, but I'm going to move on here and show you some of them. David Rich down there in Weewall. I like what he said. A scarlet red snapper fever spreading fast now through July. go get them. And also, take your kid fishing with you. He's worth 2 snappers. That's right, the more people you have on a boat, the more snappers you can get. And there's a good picture of David. That's some fine red snapper, David. And there's his son. They had a good day red snapper fishing. All right, now this is DeRay Nelson Lakina. This is Bodie. Now, Bodie's been on the show before. He's a senior, just graduated from Mosley, but he really, Bass Nation has done a really good job of young folks fishing and got a lot of people encouraging it. And in fact, here he is. He's got a ring. See that ring right there? For fishing in there, and he's out of school now. But I'm going to get him to come on the show. Here's Marcus Lee Parrish. He took his mama fishing. But I sent word back. I said, Marcus, you got to let mom catch a fish and you take the picture. So he said later on that she caught plenty of fish. So that's good to take your mom fishing, Marcus. And Ned Maxwell is down there. He said this is a buddy. They got a nice. They go down there and they got a nice area they fish for. And his buddy, I said his buddy's name. I said, what is his name? His name is Olin Brunson. Okay. Now here's the two that Blake Hatcher caught from Navarre on his kayak. Okay, 20 and 22 inches. And here's a better picture of it right here. Good job, Blake, out of Navarre. Just going out there. He's sort of new at this. And Caleb Pitts. I had so many pictures. Caleb is a good fisherman. He took his family and friends out. And isn't that a great? Is that not the Florida Panhandle right there on a good fishing trip with just folks going out? Good job, Caleb Pitts. This is this is good. Now this, Powell Adams sent this. Check this out. This is you know what this is? You're talking about all the yellow flies biting and everything, and you can buy those big round balls, those black balls. But what happens? You don't have to pay for this. This is a planter, upside down. You know those little planters. A lot of people throw them away. And now what Powell Adams did, he went ahead and put STP oil treatment on it. So you got to put it in an area where it drips down into the ground or something, because it's going to make a mess. But you hang it about 4 feet off the ground is what they recommend. But now I understand some of these hardware stores have some stuff you can spray, and the yellow flies will stick to them. But the yellow flies are pretty bad right now. All right, and this is in the local paper. In fact, I cut it out and sent it to my grandkids. And I didn't see a lot of this on TV news, but Panama City Beach had 5 drownings in the last 3 weeks, folks. That's a lot to start. I mean, the summer hadn't really started, and so just be careful. And like I told my kids, this is why you have a flag system, because we had some rough season all coming up. Okay, so that takes care of the pictures. Speaking of snapper season. Now it's coming up. It's up now from June 11th to July the 26th for private boats. The average recreational fishermen we're having from now to July the 26th. And now for hire, the charter boats and all, they started June 1 and they'll go to August 1. So, and this has worked out really well. I haven't heard anybody complaining about it. Both parties, you know, sometimes they try to. It looks like folks try to pitch each other against each other, fighting each other, and they've each got a piece of the pie, and that's what we've talked about, how important that is. Everybody gets a share of it. So, from what I understand, the people I've talked to on both sides are happy with it, and you can see the results of what's being caught and what's going on. Okay, let's talk about. I was going to talk about gnats. I'm getting all kind of information from folks, and I'm getting all kind of gnats myself. Gnats have been a really big problem. Someone said the ratio of gnats to people here along the Florida Panhandle, especially on the coast, is about 100 gnats to one person, and they've been really bad. I was looking up some information on them. The good news, they only have a 7-day lifespan. Now I'm talking about the gnats you swat. Now you have the gnat family, like one big umbrella. You have the no-see-ums, you have the biting gnats and all that, but the gnats we're talking about, I call them Georgia gnats. Because there's a belt of them across South Georgia. I know that because I have friends up there. And someone actually told me when I was working on it, someone said that she thought, and she has kin folks in Georgia too, around the Albany area, she thought the wind from the tropical storm brought them down here. And a lot of times after a natural event like that, things like that happen. But I'm trying to think of the current and all, and if we got an east wind, very well could have been, because they started really flying all over the place after that. But people, they had to get rid of them. They're going to just run their life cycle, and the wind's going to sort of hopefully get them out of here. You can put on some repellent and all. Really, if most people just swat them. You can wear a mask or something, and wear a lot of times a wide brim hat helps, because they just come up here. What attracts them is when you breathe, well, that carbon dioxide comes out, and that's why they come to your face like that. They come to your body because, from what the researchers say, it's a sweet smell. They think you smell sweet or something. So if you got a lot of gnats, they say, "Honey, look at me, how sweet I am." So that's one of the big things I found. Let's see what else. The fruit. A lot of people now getting fruit from places, from stores, from produce stores, and those little gnats are coming. Those little, what we call fruit flies, fruit gnats, and they're coming with them. I know. We love to get bananas and oranges and all. We eat them on a regular basis. A lot of times those bananas, you look at it, you don't see the gnats when you get them, but then you get to the house and somewhere these gnats flying around. So be aware. This week's going to be bad with gnats again. Hopefully they'll get on out of here. But as outdoorsmen, you can wear long everything, and even something around your face and all if they're really a big problem. I'll tell you where a problem to me is right outside in my garage area and all, where they're coming in. All right, let's take our final break. We'll be back with some cool stuff. Welcome back. Let's look at fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at time from 9:23 to 11:23 this morning, and all of this afternoon we're looking at 9:44 to 11:44. That's after dark, so be aware of those times. They really do work. Every now and then you get a gift, a special gift. And last Friday morning I was over at Miller Marine. I was checking up on Mandy and Megan. I have to check with them every now and then. What we think of them. They're part of the Panhandle Outdoors broadcasting team, although we haven't seen them lately, but they're still part of our team and all, but they've been really busy with the boatyard and all. And Miller Marine, is special to me. Their dad, Mike Miller, Mike Miller and his brother Bimbo Miller started Miller Marine, and it started just as a boatyard building quality boats. I mean, some really cool stuff. Both Mike and Bimbo love the outdoors. Well, I was in there Friday morning, and Bimbo came walking up. He said, "I got a gift for you," which is that's nice to hear. Folks, you're talking about something special. Now, Bimbo, I haven't had him on as much as I had Mike's pictures and all, but he's an avid outdoorsman. Loves to turkey hunt. Just loves to hunt. Growing up, he deckhanded on the Ocean Queen. Remember, they were part of the Davis Queen Fleet family. So as a young man, he deckhand, and he gave me this. He handed this to me, and what it was, folks, was a turkey caller, and he made it. Okay, but what was special, he made it out of the wood from the Ocean Queen. Okay, now for you to appreciate it, I'm gonna bring. How about that? I'll go on and on. I'll do that, all morning. But I want to show you some pictures of what we're talking about. And we can, this is the Ocean Queen. This is the Davis Queen Fleet and all. He's a direct descendant. He's a direct descendant of that family. We might not be able to get it now. This is what happened yesterday, wasn't it? Okay, so anyway, he was able to, the Ocean Queen was being demolished, and in his boatyard, and it was tough on he and Mike to see the Queen Fleet and all those things just sort of pushed down, and all they had was this. So he decided, he got some of the beams up underneath the, remember the rib cages and the beams that go through? After everything was pushed in a big pile, he went over there and got some of that wood from the Ocean Queen, and he made this turkey call. And you can see, that is so well made, and I appreciate what he did. And we sat there. I got some pictures and all. I can't get it. And then you can hold it down. That sounds like a turkey, but anyway, that's special. That's going to be a special. He only made like a handful of them. He said he gave them to special people, and he considered me one of those special people. And I told him, boy, would it be a wonderful time now to have a nautical maritime museum like I always talk about, and put some of that wood in there and some of the things that you can do that. So anyway, well, I want to move on. One of the things I want to talk about, thank you, Bimbo Miller. Thank you for all you do for the waterfront business. That boatyard there, Miller Marine, is just constant. They got a big area. That's one of the few places you can get your big boats out of there and worked on. There are a lot of people use them, believe me. In fact, there's so much now they don't have time to build boats like they used to love to do, build some nice boats. MBAR, I was down there, I ran into Mitch Coleman down in St. Joe the other day at Blue Water Outriggers. They've already got, look at here, they've already got the Kingfish Tournament program. They've already got it set up, and it's going to be August the 29th in 2020. So you can look through it, and they get a lot of local support from folks and everything. And it's going to have two divisions. Remember, recreational division and then a pro division. They split it up. But this is a good local tournament, and Mexico Beach is coming back strong. And my hat's off for them and all the destruction all they've had to go over and get this program put together. And if there's still a lot of places just blank down there, to go and get this program put together, it's been really, really heartwarming to see that. Mitch said they're excited about it. They've been catching a lot of fish down there. They've been catching some, of course, a lot of red snapper. Been catching triple tail, and that's another story on triple tail. We're almost all positive how that storm blew, Hurricane Michael blew a lot of these triple tail up here in Bay County, up into Gulf County, and I don't know about how far up north it blew them, but we definitely have some triple tail spread out in areas where we haven't had them in a long time. So we're glad to hear about that. Okay, we're going to start wrapping it up. If you have some good information on outdoor stuff, you want to email me and send it to me or text it to me, and we'll announce it on the show. All kind of good things are happening, good positive things, which our society needs some good positive things. And if you get a chance to give a gift to somebody that's special, Bimbo gave this to me, go ahead and do it. Don't wait. You have a great day, and do something good for your fellow man, and be a positive influence. Ooze with great things. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.